This is Joy with Ignite Life, and I'd like to speak on something that I encounter so often in the circles that I tend to run in, which are the wellness world, um, and the spiritual, new age, metaphysical world. Those who are seekers, self help seekers, spiritual seekers, um, health and vitality seekers. And I know these paths really well because all those descriptions have been me, and still are me, in a lot, in a huge way. And that there are often people in on these paths that are looking for a very strong experience to give them some type of a medicine. And um, this is there's something I'd like to distinguish when we are looking for therapy, something medicinal, something healing. That there's two things: that there's experiences and that there's solutions. And that a very common mistake that I see on these paths is that people believe that it is an experience that will bring them the solution that they're looking for. And I just want to make it really clear that an experience and a solution could be very different things, and that your solution might not be within the strong experience that you're looking for. And I like to call this the magic show. That there's a lot of therapies, treatments, experiences, events out there that create almost kind of like a magic show. A very visceral experience in one's body or someone's consciousness or awareness. And that big experience that someone has almost can sometimes create the illusion that something really big just happened. However, it's possible that perhaps that individual just had a very big, strong experience, but was there any actual gain that happened after the experience? Did they actually integrate and embody and get to keep something from that experience and carry it with them? And you see this, the biggest area where I see this in right now is the plant medicine world. That there are so many exploring those options because they're looking for some type of a magic show, an experience that's so strong and big that it's going to be the thing that finally cracks them open and breaks whatever lifelong patterns that they've had. I just want to say, more often than not, I've seen a lot of people come away from these experiences with either that it didn't really create a lasting shift or change for them, even if they had a big experience that brought insight, clarity, epiphanies during the experience, that what I don't witness is actual integration and embodiment of that they carry with them afterwards. Or the other result, which I've also seen, is that people walk away from these experiences actually with a lot of new baggage, and things that they were not expecting to walk away with that have had somewhat of a negative impact on them afterwards, that they might have to do repair work around after these experiences. And so I'm just using plant medicine as one example, but we see these in different types of therapies as well, event group experiences. There's a lot of things out there and I'm not saying that all of these things are bad or not helpful, or I've also seen people have really amazing results from going to do some of these types of things. And so it's not to discount these things, but it's to really understand what it is that you're looking for, and to acknowledge that, am I looking for a really strong experience because I believe that something has to be hard in order for me to actually get healing, or that I believe that I need to go through pain in order to receive healing, or that I need to, I think for me, and I know this because I've actually explored some of these things myself, and I've been, there's a part of me in the past that was almost somewhat masochistic, that I needed to go through some type of really challenging experience, in order to break something within me, to find healing. And I've I've really gotten to the point where I've realized that that is not always necessary on our paths. And for me, that sometimes that mentality actually leads to, uh, experiences that just push trauma deeper into our bodies, that, just create somewhat a, just continues an abusive mindset that we have about ourselves. And again, I'm not saying this is a blanket statement in any case about these types of modalities and therapies. I'm saying to watch what your intention is. Why are you choosing what you're choosing? And do you have limited beliefs about what's possible for you? And so the past several years, the focus for myself, my own personal path, has been more towards working on a subconscious level through my own work that I do with myself and also the work that I do with my clients. And it's when I started working more on subconscious levels that I realized that healing doesn't need to be hard. I don't need to spend a certain amount of time, a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of, money, a certain amount of masochistic self punishment. I don't have to do a certain level of any of these things in order to have profound change shift and what I define as healing for myself. Um, and so when I started working more on a subconscious level, that blew all that old mindset, because I held all those ideas and beliefs, in my younger years. I believed that I needed to put so much time, energy, into myself and my process in order to get the result. No pain, no gain. That was really ingrained so deeply into my subconscious. And so when I started unpacking that and taking the layers away from that, when I started working on a subconscious level, I started to see that shifts would happen in the most effortless, easeful manner, to the point where I wouldn't even recognize the change because it felt so natural, integrated, and embodied. And it would just take me days to weeks to just notice the shifts of how I was showing up in life differently. Um, and so I just really want to have it be known that things can be easy, they can be effortless, it can be gentle. And I know for me, some of the biggest shifts that I have went through have been on that gentle spectrum. And that, it has not involved really big experiences, it has not involved a magic show. And I just want to have that known also, because my work, the work that I do with people, it's not a magic show. There will be some interesting things and phenomena that will happen in session, with me, but sometimes it's super chill, relaxing. Sometimes people come and they just take a nap on my table, and it's just the most gentle, effortless, but just deep relief release while someone is sleeping. And yeah, it's, to me it's like that, it's beautiful. And so I just wanted to share this because it's something I encounter it so frequently, and it's something that it is, I get a little frustrated when I encounter it too. For one, because I know that I used to carry those beliefs, and I used to carry that energy myself. And I really just had to experience something else in order to believe that things didn't have to be that way. Things could be gentle, it could be easeful. Um, and uh, I feel frustrated too because I oftentimes, the people who are looking for those really strong experiences, they often don't stop looking for them till they experience something that's a bit damaging to them. Um, and so that's always the frustration for me too, is that I really want to see people get real solution, real help, and not fall into something that might actually lead to, again, something that they're going to have to just do extra repair work around later. Um, so yeah, maybe you have other opinions about what I've said here. Maybe you have experiences. Maybe you see exactly what I'm saying and what I'm pointing at. Maybe you have some anecdotal stories or things that you'd like to share related to this. I would love to hear anything that you've got to say. Uh, Go ahead, share a comment, share this video, like, subscribe, uh, whatever all the things that you do on social media are. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to hearing some feedback on this.